Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to discuss something that often gets neglected when going camping. People remember their tents, their sleeping bags, the chairs, their stoves, all this stuff, and then forget about food. So let's talk about that. Okay, so when camping and packing food, what are a couple of things that you need to remember? Just really two major points. Your food has to be small and easy to pack. I mean, you can take a refrigerator if you want, but, and some do. I've seen guys pull trailers behind their bikes with little mini refrigerators. Not for me. So you want to have your food be small and easy to pack. That's number one. And then what if you need to keep it fresh? Do you have some kind of a small lunchbox or maybe a small cooler to keep your stuff cool? Because you never know how long you're going to be out there in the wilds. All right, so those are the two major points. One thing that people often do, and I started doing this because when you go into these big box stores and you look for camping supplies, what do you see for food? All these dried meals. And there's, you know what I'm talking about. These big brand names, and some of them are pretty good. I have to say I've tried them. Some of them are really, really good. And some of them, not so much. So, unless you really, and they're kind of spendy. When you look at those, they are kind of spendy. And you think to yourself, well, I could just eat out for that. So, but there's other options. You don't need to go for those dried camping meals where you just add water and you wait. And don't forget to take the little packet out because it's poison and it'll kill you and so forth. All right, so I'm going to go through some of the things that I've done that I've had real good success with and I really enjoy. My first one is steak, corn on the cob, and powdered potatoes. That is such a good meal and so easy to make. Steak, if you just have a skewer, you can skewer it over a fire. Or if you have like a little stove, they have little stoves now that fold up really small, and then you could just put some coals in it, put your steaks over the top, barbecue them that way. Oh, they're so good. A steak over an open fire is the best. So that's the steak part. Corn on the cob. Did you know that you can actually take a corn on the cob and put it next to an open fire, not in the fire, but right next to it, so it's really, really hot. And you leave it there until the husk turns black. And it looks like the thing is just burnt and it's just no good to anyone. Tell you what happens. If you turn it a couple of times, get the whole thing nice and black, and then you pull it out of the coals and you just start peeling back the husk, all those little hairy things come out nice and easy. And you have a nice done corn on the cob. Bring a little butter and you're in heaven. And don't forget when you peel back the husks, don't take it off, keep it and hold it as a handle. If you have it on the other end of the corn cob, then you have a nice handle. Your butter's melting, you got your steak there. And then powdered potatoes. There's some really, really good powdered potatoes. I'm gonna go out on the limb here. I don't get any royalties for this, but there's Idahoan potatoes. There's several flavors. My best are the little baby red Idaho potatoes. You just add 2 cups of boiling water, you let it sit for 5 minutes, and man are they good. And especially with a little butter or your favorite seasonings, they're so good. So those 3 things, that's my favorite meal. You ask Rick, you ask anybody that we've ever camped with, and man, we just love doing that. So that's number 1. Here's another one that's really a good, simple meal, easy to pack, and it's good for an emergency meal. I always take this just in case you're out there for an extra day and you need something really, really good to eat. You get some ramen noodles, and there's brand names out there. You know which ones I'm talking about. The little square things, they're hard, they're like little noodle bricks. You get one of those and a little can of tuna fish in water. I prefer water. And you know, the funny thing happens when you mix a can of tuna with a chicken flavored ramen packet and you mix it all up, it tastes like chicken soup. Honest, it is so good and that salt in there when you're out riding and it's really hot and you need to replenish some of those electrolytes. A little bit of a salty ramen and some tuna fish. It makes nice chicken noodle soup. It's so good, so good. I love it. And that's really easy. You can pack a ton of those things. They don't weigh anything. You can stick a little can of tuna anywhere where you got a little space. All right, next one. Brats. Brats, beans, and corn chips. You know, there's several kinds of brats out there. There's a place in Sisters, I think it's called Sisters Meat and Barbecue or something like that. Oh man, you gotta visit there. They've got the best source of meats anywhere. If you're ever camping around Sisters, visit there. Anyway, so brats, you can put them on a skewer. You can, you know, skewers, you can even make your own skewers. Just go grab a piece of wood somewhere, a little piece of stick, carve off the end, and you got a skewer. Beans, you can get a can of beans. Those are small, they pack up easy, and it makes a good combination, brats and beans. And then corn chips. You know, if you've ever seen the movie True Grit, and with John Wayne, he talks about corn dodgers. Well, my son and I looked up the recipe for corn dodgers, and we made it. We actually got all the ingredients, and we made corn dodgers. And in the end, they tasted like corn chips. And they were really good. So one thing about corn chips, they actually make a good fire starter. Apparently there's enough oil in there, and if you need a fire starter, corn chips. So brats, beans, and corn chips, they make a good combination. And of course you have your canned chunky soups. There's all kinds of different brands out there. Just go pick your favorite. A can of soup will go a long way. And always take a can opener. Now I have one of these little can openers that you just click onto the top of the can, you spin it around, opens the can, and it packs up really small. I think everyone should always carry a can opener with them no matter where you go. Sometimes when you get out in the middle of the boonies and you have a little store and you're looking for something to eat, that's all they have. Canned soups. And so, well, it's nice to have a can of soup, but if you can't open the thing, then you're going to be up the creek. All right, of course, the other things are just things like veggies, meats, cheese. Pick your favorite veggies. Green and red peppers, beef jerky, packaged cheese. All these things can go a long way. So these are some of my favorites. When you think about packing for food, there's some other things you want to also remember. Here's a few tips. Don't forget to bring lots of water. At least a gallon per person per day. At least a gallon. Now if you're out in really, really hot weather, it's in the 90s and 100 degrees, even more water. The more water the better. You'd be surprised how much water your body needs when you're out by yourself and there's no other source of water. And then as you're out camping, when you're near your destination, look for a grocery store. Some kind of a little store where they sell little things like that. And you can pick up some things that you might need, or just go shopping for your dinner. So it's always nice to keep a little grocery store. Of course, you never pass a gas station. That always goes without saying. All right, in your grocery store, one of the things you can do, just tell the clerk where you're heading and ask them for tips or any words of wisdom. It's really amazing. They know the area. They're from there. They'll tell you, hey, if you're heading to this campground, don't go there. There's a better one 5 more miles down the road. Go there. You'll love it. There's more space or whatever. So talk to the locals. It's always fun. It breaks up your trip and it gives you a sense of belonging. And if you're friendly, they're friendly. You'll get a better idea of what's actually best in the area. You'll get a lot of good tips that way. Another tip, get a cool beverage. I don't know about you, but when I'm riding and it's hot out, I look forward to, first thing I do is unload my stuff, set up my chair, and open up a cool beverage. Your favorite one, whatever. A lot of people will bring a thermos, an empty thermos, or maybe one with water, and this is their drinking water on the way there. Of course, once you get there, your water's gone. Now you have a thermos when you stop at the little grocery store. Get a great big beverage, your favorite beverage, and put it in your thermos. It stays nice and cold. You can take the can, throw it away. You don't have trash, and then you're ready. You got your beverage already ready. All right, when you're shopping too, think breakfast and dinner. A lot of people will do dinner and they'll forget about breakfast, and they don't have anything to eat. They'll remember coffee, but then what? Nice thing to remember, for me anyway, what I like to do is get those little instant oatmeal packets. There's all kinds of instant oatmeal. There's Bob's Red Mill, there's Quaker, there's all these instant oatmeal packets that are all good. Just pick your favorite. They pack up easy, they're small. You just add boiling water and you're golden. Nice to have a little bit of something in your stomach when you start packing up all your gear and you start hitting the road the next morning. So think breakfast and dinner. All right, and then of course coffee. All I'm going to say is coffee, 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 coffee. That's my favorite. I love coffee in the morning. I have a French press, which I just love. It makes great coffee, and I bring a little cream. I bring some sweetener, and boy, there's just nothing like having a nice cup of hot coffee when you get up out of your tent and it's cold. Most places are pretty cold in the morning, and so you sit there with your nice hot cup of coffee and you just enjoy the morning. So coffee. All right, so just one other tip: shop for what you want, but always have a backup plan. For me, my backup is a can of tuna fish and some ramen noodles. That's a meal right there, and it'll satisfy, it'll get you through. And I've packed those up and never used them. Pack them and unpack them, pack them again, unpack them, just never use them. You want to keep them rotated. You don't want to have a can of tuna fish that's 5 years old. You do want to keep those rotated. All right, one other thing is if you have a water filter, if you're near a water source that's not necessarily good drinking water, it's always nice to have a water filter. I have one here. It's just a drinking straw. So it'll filter water, but it's like you can put this right into a brook or a stream and use it like a straw, and it'll actually give you some good filtered water. It filters out 99.9% of bacteria and all that kind of thing. It's called a life straw. Life straw. All right, well that's it. Most of all, have fun. You know, part of the fun for me is anticipation, planning. Where am I going to go? How am I going to get there? What route am I going to take? What's the best way? And then coming out into the garage and just looking at my stuff and saying, okay, now for this trip it's going to be an overnighter, or it's going to be 2 nights. What do I need to take that's different? I have a camping list, I print it out, and then I just check things off. Charge all my electronics, I put everything on the floor that I'm going to take, and then I pack it up on the bike, and then the next morning I take off. I just love camping. I love motorcycle camping. It's fun with friends. It's fun by yourself. It's just a great way to get out away from the busyness of the world and to relax and to be one with nature. It's just so much fun. It's so relaxing. It'll do you good. Get out there and do it. Thanks. Enjoy.